was. I wish I could make it down there, but I'm hoping you'll be gone before I can make it down there so that you'll be able to go home. Let's see, who else? Bill. Oh, I don't have to talk to myself. Yeah, because there's people here. I'm glad. Okay, well, I'm glad some of y'all are here. I'm gonna, cut the chit chat a little bit now that I see people are here, and I want to talk about my Joyful Creations Club. And I'm going to talk specifically, I'm going to show you the stuff for this month, for October. Now, I'm starting, it's a new thing I'm starting. It's kind of like something I used to have. I used to just call it Card Club to Go. Now it's called the Joyful Creations Club, and it's not just to go. You can do it by mail, and I'm sure a majority of people will. But you can also do it in person. And the nice thing about if you're in the area and want to do the in-person club, you get to use my stamps. So you don't have to worry about purchasing the stamps or bundle, or if you have them or whatever, you can use mine. But if you're doing it to go, there will always be the option to purchase the stamp set if you want, or you can just use something you have and do something similar. Use the pre-cut pieces to do your own version of whatever. But here's the deal about it. So it is a monthly subscription. When you subscribe, it's through PayPal, and it's just an auto payment every month, but there's no time commitment. So anytime you can go on your PayPal and cancel the subscription if you don't want to keep doing it, if you want to skip one and come back, whatever. Because I will tell you each month ahead of time what the featured stamp set is. So, if you're like, ooh, I hate that stamp set, and you don't want to do it, you can always cancel for that month. And then you have to resubscribe to do it. But so there's no commitment, but it does, is once you subscribe, it's going to be an auto payment. The same day you subscribe is the same day it will do the payment every month. But each month you have to subscribe by the 10th of the month to get that month's kit. So I'll always advertise the upcoming stamp set by the end of the month before. So like I started advertising before the end of the month, but at the end of September for this one. So, but you have to subscribe by the 10th and you'll get that month. If you subscribe after that, it just means you'll get the next month's. But because on the 11th each month is when I will order supplies. So that's why the 10th is the cutoff for that. And so each month, what will you get? You will get a packet. It'll all be packaged nicely. The pieces for each card will be in an envelope. But you'll have enough supplies to make 8 cards. There'll be 4 designs. You'll make 2 each of the 4 designs. So 8 cards total. Everything will be pre-cut for you. They will not be stamped, because in this particular club, you're going to receive product every month. You're going to receive about $20 to $25 of consumable products. So you don't have to worry if it's something you have. You'll just have more. It'll be like embellishments, designer series paper, which we call DSP, if you're not familiar with that. DSP, ribbon, that kind of thing will be what's included in your packet. And it's stuff that you will use on your cards. So you'll need that stuff, or some of it. You'll have a ton left over, but you'll need some of it to use on your cards each month. So because I'm including product, which means you're paying a fee every month, I cannot stamp, they can't have stamped images in it. That is against Stampin' Up's policy. We can't sell kits with pre-stamped images. So they will not be stamped. And like I said, each month I'll be telling you ahead of time, this is the bundle for the month, or stamp. It'll either be just a stamp set, or some months it'll be a bundle, like a stamp set and die set that matches, or a stamp set and punch that matches. And then sometimes it may just be a stamp set, but I'll tell you, and then you just PayPal me the amount of the stamp set or bundle if you want to add that on. Or like I said, just use something you have, or maybe you already have it. If you're a demonstrator, you can purchase that part yourself. Anyway, I'm losing my train of thought. Anyway, so each month you can add on the stamps if you want, but it won't be stamped. So you'll get your kit with your consumable products, your pre-cut supplies. It'll all be packaged, and it'll come in the mail to you each month. And I will email out a PDF tutorial that have pictures and instructions for completing your cards. Now, if you come at my house, you'll get the same thing, the same packet, but I'll have my stamps out, and you'll get to use my stamps to make your cards. And typically, I'm gonna have it the first Monday. I mean, not the first. Oh, losing my train of thought. The last Monday, or probably the fourth, because sometimes there's a fifth Monday. So I'm gonna say the fourth Monday of the month, and it'll be a morning option and an evening option to come and do your cards. Okay, so let me think. What else have I not said? Oh, hi, Jessica. I better scroll back and see if I have questions here. Yes, I'm glad you're catching me live too, Jessica. Okay, so I think that's the basic rundown. I feel like there was something on the tip of my mind when I was talking that I was going to say. It'll come to me later, probably, about the club. Yeah. Anyway, and I don't know if I said, but the last week of the month, I think on my information on the email, I have actual dates. I should have looked at that before I got on here because I can't remember. But it's the last week of the month will be when your kits will mail to you and when I'll email the PDF. So you subscribe by the 10th, you get that month's kit, it comes by the end of the month. So I think that's that. So what I want to show you is what this first month kit's going to look like. I'm going to show you the cards, and I'm going to show you what you're going to get in it, the stamp set, the bundle that I'm using, and I've got 2 bonus cards that are not, you're not going to get the supplies for, but I want to show you 2 extra cards using the same supplies, the same bundle and the same consumable supplies you'll get that you can make on your own. So I'm going to demonstrate making those 2 in just a minute. But the first thing I'm going to do is flip my camera down so that you can see my desktop. Hi, Joy. Oh, look at my sweet. Joy Stone, by the way, is my daughter that's telling me the prettiest mom in the world. She's a little biased, I think. Thank you, Joy. Okay, I'm going to flip this down, and I am not sophisticated with my technology. One of these days, maybe I will. I have to get my daughters to show me how to do sophisticated technology, but right now it's unsophisticated, and I'm going to flip my camera down and spin it around, and I know it's not the best system, but it works for me. So bear with me. I'm about to flip it down. So it's going to move around a minute. Let me flip down, and then I'm going to turn it so that you're seeing. Can y'all hear me now? Yes, no, maybe? Oh, I think it's back. Can y'all hear me now? So sorry about that, y'all. I think that I hit the volume button when I switched my phone around. Am I back? I know there's a delay, so I'm waiting to see if y'all tell me if I'm back before I keep on talking. Adjust that a little bit. Yes, I'm back. Oh, good. I am so sorry. I think that I hit the volume. Anyway, what I was saying is, so this is the bundle for this month. And I remembered what I was going to tell you earlier is that each month when you add on the stamp set or bundle, you can do that for the catalog price. Like this one's $52 this month. Some months it will not be that much because some months I'll just do a stamp set. It's going to vary, but this one is a little more expensive one. But I'm doing it like just the $52 price without adding the shipping and tax on. And that is only for the stamp set or bundle that I'll do that. You are paying shipping and tax on the other products you're getting. But that's just kind of a special deal for my club that you get to get that at a little bit better price. Basically, that is a 19%, about a 19% savings because shipping is 11%, tax here is 8.25%. So 19 or 20%. So yeah. Okay. Enough chit-chat. So this is the bundle this month. And then what they're going to get in your kit this first month, the consumables, you are going to get a 1/4 of a pack of the Gingham Cottage DSP, which I featured that also the last episode, but I'm going to use it in different ways this time. Let me show you. A 1/4 of a pack means you're going to get 1 sheet of each of the 12 papers, because this pack comes with 4 sheets of each. It's a big pack. So there's one side. Let me flip it. And then the other side are kind of like bigger designs, a little bit different ones. So you're going to get 1 sheet of all these. Now the pieces that you're going to need for your cards, I am going to go ahead and cut them for you. Now if I ever get too many people going in this club that I can't do that anymore, I'll let you do it. But for now, I like to go ahead and cut it for you. I don't know, I'm a little OCD that way. So, but you'll get some full sheets. So you'll get partial sheets of some full sheets, because I'm only using like a few different ones on your cards. And then you are also going to get a full pack of the brush metallic dots, which this is not a full pack, obviously. I don't have a full pack to show you, but you get 30 of each of the copper, gold, and brass brush dots, metallic dots. And then you're going to get a full spool of the linen thread. So there's, you're going to get all of that in your kit along with your card supplies. Okay, I'm going to set all that paper aside because I don't need that right now. All right, and then the cards for this month. I love this set, Fawn to Bottom. I think it is beautiful. I love the style of it. I love the font in this. I love everything about it. And added the gingham paper looks really cute with it, in my opinion. So here is one card that you will make. It's got some and if there's embossing like this with the embossing folder, I will do that for you. Also, any dies that are not in the set, like this shape, I will cut that for you because that's from a different die set. So there's one card that you'll get to make. You'll make 2 of them, of course, 2 of each. I'll just set that there. Card number 2 is, I'm trying to hold it up so you can see it closely. Card number 2 is this one. It's a little bit more bright and sunflowery looking. And this piece is in your die set, but I will probably go ahead and pre-cut that for everyone. I think I will. Because some people, if you don't add all the stamp set, then you can still use that piece, even with different stamps. And then here is card number 3. This is Garden Green, and that one I love. And I'm going to show you some fun features about these. There's really good features about these dies and this stamp set, and I'll explain that in a minute as I'm making my other cards. So there's card number 3. Card number 4 is this one. I'm so fond of you. I love that one. And I'll show there. Thanks, Jessica. I'm glad you like them. I really, really love these cards too. You know, sometimes you just love some cards more than others that you create. These I love. So I'm hoping a lot of you will do this club because I love these cards. I want you to get to make them. Okay. Let's make some cards though. So that's the basics. Any questions as we're going? Y'all ask me questions about the club if you have them, whatever. But I'm going to go ahead. I am going to need these dies in a minute. We're going to go ahead and get started on the first card. The first of 2 I want to show you today. The first one, I'm going with a non-fall look because I want to show that you can use this stamp set and the DSP and everything to create a card that is not fall looking. So I'm going to go with the pink. I wanted to use the pink DSP and the Gingham Cottage, and it's Blushing Bride specifically. And also, I wanted to bring in a full sheet of cardstock today and my trimmer because I don't want to always assume that everybody knows how to cut their paper. I'm not going to do this on all of them, but I just thought I would show some basics. This is the full 8.5 by 11 sheet of Blushing Bride cardstock, which all of our cardstock comes in 8.5 by 11 packages, or you can get assorted packages too. And I'm going to cut this one the long way. So you can either cut it in half. I call it like, you know, hot dog and hamburger. Some people say that. Long ways, or you can cut it in half this way. It just depends on how you want it to fold. I'm going to do the long one on this. So half of the long version is 4 1/4. So I'm going to measure over here to 4 1/4. This is our Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer. You get a cutting blade and you get a scoring blade on it. So I'm going to cut it at 4 1/4, like that. Set that piece aside because I don't need that one. And then I'm going to turn it, and halfway the other way is 5 1/2 inches. Get that cutting blade out of the way because I don't want to cut. I'm going to score. I'm going to take my scoring blade, score. So now I've got it ready to go. All right, and I'm going to bring in my bone folder and give a nice crease there to get it nice and flat. I like it where it closes nice and flat. Okay, so there's our half sheet. Now, we need to do a little embossing on this. The embossing folder that really coordinates nicely with this is the, it's something leaves. I didn't look it up ahead of time, so if anybody knows the name of it, I don't know if it's falling. I don't think it's falling leaves. I think that's an old one. Oh, Jessica, that is a good question. A PDF only option for purchase. I should definitely do that. I don't have that set up at this point, but I'll see if I can figure out how. Like, I definitely know how just to email it to you and let you just pay through PayPal for that, which I can do. I know there's a way that it can send it automatically. I don't know that. But if I did that, I would probably do the PDF only for like $10 or $15 or something like that. But I have not thought that through. That's a good question. I know a lot of people do that. Okay, let me bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. It's always hard to bring in on the video, but I want to do it just so y'all can see. And whatever this folder's called, something leaves, leave something. It's pretty. It's got a bunch of leaves. I'm going to I want to get all of this part because it kind of is a diagonal. I don't know if you can, let me see if you can see that up there. It's kind of a diagonal. So I want to get like the leaves going like right through this area. So I'm putting it that way. In case you don't know, you're always supposed to run your embossing folder through with the folded side first. I have no idea why, but I always do that. Oh, wrong plate. Don't do that plate. This is a 3D folder. So you need the base, you need the 3D folder with the paper, and then you need the specialty plate to go with it. Run that through, and I believe your machine comes with that. All right, so there we have that. I'll set this aside. See, Shelby Massey's watching. She's on a cruise ship right now. They haven't left the harbor, but I don't know how she's watching, but she is. Hi, Shelb. Okay. Oh, leaf fall. Thank you, Jessica. I knew somebody would know. I cannot remember. The older I get, the harder it is to remember stuff. Okay, so there. Let me bring that up close so you can see how beautiful. I love that folder. Even though this is not a fall card, because I'm not specifically making it fall-ish, but I still think the leaves are beautiful for anything. So we're going to stick that on. We can go ahead and do that. And I'm using my Stampin' Seal as my adhesive of choice. Okay, got that there. Alrighty. And the other thing we can go ahead and do is put this, I already pre-cut that. This is using the Stylish Shapes die set. It's got the stitched edge on it. So that is one of the circles on there. I'm looking for my dimensionals. Here they are. I'm going to go ahead and just put this on, and then I'll set it aside while we do some other things. On circles, I like to put 3 on there. All right, I just kind of want it right about here. Okay, we're going to set that aside. Now, let me stamp. We're going to bring in, this is the biggest stamp in this set. It's this one right here. This is one. I want to show you something cool about this stamp. This was a brilliant design on this bundle. So I'm going to ink it up. I'm going to go ahead and ink up the whole thing, even though I'm only going to use a portion of it. But I want to show you so you if you ink up the whole thing, I'm doing it in black memento because I'm going to color with some Stampin' Blends, which are alcohol-based markers. Whenever you're using alcohol markers, you need to stamp in a water-based ink. Oh, I did not get that. Let's do the other side. I forget that this table sometimes doesn't do as well as my desk over there. I'm not sure why. I should have brought in my Stampin' mat, but I don't have it over here. So I'm just going to do it again. And here's my solution. When that happens, you know how it kind of sticks? Just bring it up and rub before you pull it off. All right, that's better. So what I wanted to show you is, so this stamp, you can use the whole thing, which one of the cards, let me find, where'd the cards go for this month? Here's an example. This one, I use the whole thing. So if you want to cut the whole thing, you use this die, and it cuts out the entire image. Or, and I'm going to show you another way you can use that die on another card, on the other card in a minute. Or it's got this die, which also fits over it, but see how there's the 3 sections, or actually 4 sections? It cuts off this section by itself, this part by itself, and these 2 by themselves. So you can use just the different parts of it that way, and it still die cuts them. We're going to just use the flower section on here. So I'm going to color just that part. And here's an example, like here's just the flower part. This one just has the leaf part, and then these 2 little parts that cut out separately. So there's kind of showing how those are used. All right, so let me just color. This is the only one I'm coloring on today. Bring this, make sure I've got this in the camera where you can see it good. Oh, good. Shelby says they're relaxing. Yay. Yeah. All right. Jessica, I agree. That embossing folder is beautiful. And yes, you can make multiple, you could color this whole thing, cut it out with this die, and have all the pieces and make multiple cards with it. All right, now, like I said, this color is Blushing Bride. There are not Blushing Bride Stampin' Blends. It's one of the colors. We don't have the alcohol markers, Stampin' Blends, in all of our colors. I wish we did. I need to put that request in with Stampin' Up! Because I really wish we did. But the closest I could get was the light Flirty Flamingo, and it's close enough. It blends. So I'm going to start by just quickly coloring in the flowers. Yeah, when you first look at this image, it just looks overwhelming to color, doesn't it? But it's really not hard at all. And especially just doing a section of it like this. So I'm going to color over that, and I'm not like trying to get perfectly in all the lines or anything. Just put on a little color. I'm trying to keep watching my comments over here in case anybody has a question or comment. I know we had this discussion last the last episode I did, my last video, but about coloring, and you either love it or you hate it. I love it. You know what? Like I said, I was on our stamping cruise last week, which I'll mention something about that here in a minute. And I kind of want to color a little darker right in this part. Obviously I can't color and talk at the same time. Anyway, on our cruise last week, we noticed that at one, they have lots of activities and stuff. Of course, we had stamping activities because we were doing a stamping cruise, but the ship had an adult coloring session. You could go into one of the lounges, and they had like coloring sheets and colors, and there were people in there just coloring away. And I thought, what a fun idea, because if you love coloring like I do, that's a fun activity. A fun and relaxing activity. Okay, so got a little pink on there. I'm going to use the dark Flirty Flamingo to do these little berry thingies, just to make it a little bit different color shade than the other. I'm going to do mostly dark with just a tiny, oops, with a tiny bit of light right here. Oh, I don't know if I said while I was talking while I was doing this is the color lifter that I was using on the edges to kind of take off a little of, to make it lighter, take off a little of that color. That's what the color lifter's for. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of So Saffron on these little, I don't know what those, I know that there's probably some specific name for this part of this flower. What it is, I do not know. But I'm just like quickly coloring around that. Then I'll use the light So Saffron. My brush tip of my So Saffron is in bad shape. I keep forgetting to order a new set of my So Saffron. All right, do the inside, and I just need to do the leaves real quick. And I'll be done with the coloring part of this because I'm not coloring the other part that I'm not using right now. Using the dark, this is mint macaron that I'm using. Using the dark, and then I'm gonna go over with the light. Like this. And then when I still want a little more shading, sometimes I'll go back with the dark and add that shading again just to make it stand out a little more like that. Okay, that's good enough. So let's cut it out and I'll show you how this cool die works. Let me bring the die cut machine back in. Right here. I'm gonna put this on here. Where'd my die go? Here it is. All right, Jessica, you like coloring too. I know that I'm not alone in that. I do have some people that said they hate it though. All right, so let me line that up. So I'll show you, I'm lining this up. I don't have to worry about lining all of it up, but I'm going to because I want to show you how it cuts. It's very cool. And I think this is kind of a newer thing because there's maybe one other, I just can't think which one. It may be Cottage Rose. There's another one that does cutting like this, which I think is a brilliant design. I hope they start doing more and more of those. All right, so bring that out and I will show you. So what you get are all the different parts of it. Isn't that cool? So I've got these, got that one. So very fun. This is a really great bundle to have. All right, I'm not using those. I can save those for another card, another day, whatever. I'm just using this. So I'm gonna look at my sample to see exactly what I did. I'm gonna pop this up on here. Where'd my dimensionals go? Here they are. Let's put a little, there's the back side where I messed up, but it doesn't really matter because we're not gonna see it. Put a few dimensionals on here. I'm gonna put it about like this. Looks pretty good. Then I just need to add our sentiment, which the sentiments on all the cards that you get in your kit for this month. I used every stamp except for, I didn't use all the sentiments. I used the 4 that have the pretty font that I like. I didn't use the others, so I thought on these samples, I'll use the ones I didn't use. So Just a Note was one of them. I just have a little scrap of white here, and I'm stamping in black. And then my favorite little trick, when I don't have a small die that I want to use, I just cut the ends at an angle to give it a little interest. And so that's going to go like right here. And it's gonna go partly on here, and then it's gonna hang down onto here, which this is pop. So what I do when that happens is I just put a little adhesive on the end that's flat, and then I'm gonna put a mini, oops, I want it a little closer this way, I think, a mini dimensional on the other part so that it'll match the height, if you know what I mean. So I'm gonna put it about right. I don't know if I got that in the right place. Move it down just slightly, right there. Right about here. Let's see if I can get it straight. Nope, I don't want that dimensional there either. I should just put it on the thing. There we go. Want it right there. So there's that, and I'm gonna add some of our embellishments that are coming in the kit. I'm gonna use the linen thread. I'm just gonna tie a little bow. I thought the linen thread coordinated with this DSP well because it's just very, you know, generic and basic. It goes with everything, with all the colors that are in it and everything. So I'll leave the ends a little bit long there, and I'm gonna put this right up here with a mini glue dot. I tie ribbon or string around my not dimensionals, mini glue dots to keep that paper down from just unrolling constantly. So I'm going to pop that about right there, and then add these embellishments. I thought the copper ones looked pretty. They look very pinkish with this pink, so that's what I ended up using. I'm going to do one down here, do one like right about here, and I'll do another big one like right up here. So there we have it. There's the first card. Bring it up a little closer so y'all can see it, but very non-fall. So that just shows how this set does not have to just be fall. You can do a lot of stuff. And if you ever look on Pinterest, you know, you can find tons and tons. Just put the name of a stamp set in Pinterest and you can find tons of ideas that people have done. So Jessica, now you want this bundle. Well, there you go. See, my work here is done if I talked you into wanting it. Because yeah, it's a beautiful one. All right, thank you. I'm glad y'all like that one. Okay, I'm gonna got one more card I want to show you using this. And this one, I did not use the mint macaron green in any of the cards for this month, so I decided to use it on this. So I'm gonna do a monochromatic card. The other one kind of was almost monochromatic too. This one I've already cut and scored. I did the short way, cut it the short way, so it's the 5.5 inches by 8.5 this way, and it's scored at 4 1/4. Let me find my bone folder again. Give that a good crease. All right. So this one's gonna open this way. We'll start by, we're gonna layer, this is 3 3/4 by 5, this piece of DSP. We're gonna layer it onto some white, which is just an 1/8 of an inch bigger. So this is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Okay, there's that. Okay. Oh, Gabby, are you talking about this tool that I use to get the embellishments? This is called Take Your Pick tool. Everybody needs one of these. It's got a little sticky stuff on one end that you can use to get your embellishments. It's got a little flat thing you can use to lift stuff off if you need to, plus a pointy one, the like paper piercer one for stuff too. And then there's also, you can also get in, it comes with all of those, that you can also get a roller brush one to use on your dies. I'll show you what that is in a minute. That's what that is. Sorry, I didn't see your comment earlier. All right, so now I'm gonna pop this panel up with dimensionals. Now when I have a big something to pop up, I usually do 4 do them in each corner, 4, and then a 5th one right in the center to hold that center up. You really don't need more than that. Just get this centered on here as best I can. Okay, so that's popped up. So there we have that. Now I'm going to do a couple of die cutting things. First, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to show you another cool feature. So this die on here, these two together also work. You know, this was also the big one that we could cut out that whole image from last time with, but it's also one that you can cut this beautiful image with. Let me show you what it looks like when you don't cut it. So you can just use this part, which is what I used on this card, like that. I just cut it out of that pumpkin pie, and it doesn't like cut it all the way, it just cuts the design out and, you know, leaves like the window there. But you can get a whole piece with this if you use this die around it, and this cuts it out. So there's 2 different ways you can use this one too. So let me show you. Bring the machine back in. And we're gonna just cut this out of white. Got all kinds of little pieces on here stuck to my thing. All right, here's our white. We're gonna cut this out. We're gonna go around it with this. So it just leaves a tiny little border. So you just kind of wanna center it on there pretty well, like so. Put your plate on top. Now, because this is an intricate die, it has lots of little pieces, I'm going to run it back and forth several times because you usually need to get all those little pieces to cut through good. So bear with me while I give it a good cut. Back and forth, back and forth. I'll see if this works. Got that part off. Let me bring this over here. Let's see how this did. Oh, I think it did good. Going back and forth worked well. So let me show you. Yes, it got little pieces on there. I'll clean that off later. I got most of those out, so I'm just going to poke the rest out. Yep, that looks good. And of course there's a bunch of pieces in here too. You can use this. This is the foam mat, and then the die brush, which this is the old die brush, but there's an attachment that looks like this that can go on the end of that tool that I was talking about earlier. That's what they have for this now. This is just an old version of it. But that kind of gets those pieces out of your die. Even if the paper is still in there, it's a good way. It cleans it out. Okay. Let me set that over here. Oh, I've got a mess going here. Where's my piece? Here it is. All right, so here's this beautiful piece that we're gonna put on here. Before I do, you know what, before I do that, let's go ahead and get this last die cutting thing done. I got one more thing. I'm gonna stamp. Where's my stamps? Here they are. Let's see if I've still got people with me here. I don't know why the comments like go away. I have to, if there's some cool way to get them to stay there, I haven't figured it out. All right, so I'm going to use this stamp out of the stamp set, which is this banner. It makes a little border for the banner. I'm doing it in mint macaron, and then I'm going to do the sending many thanks. Again, that's a sentiment I didn't use on any of the other cards. So I'm going to just stamp that right inside the banner. Like that. Okie dokie. Set those aside. Let me cut this out. course, I've got all this messy stuff on here. I'm gonna make a really big mess on my table and get that off. I just kind of scratch it. All right. Now, where's this die? Here it is. So here's the die that matches that stamp. It does have a right way, even though it looks the same, it's not the same both directions. Line that up. It's hard when I'm not standing over it like I normally am. I think that's about right. Okay. Last time to have to use that machine. All right. So here's what we have. Oh my gosh, what a mess. Now we're ready to complete it. All right, so I want to glue this down. I'm gonna make it go, I'm trying to think which way I wanna make it go. I think I'm gonna make it go like this. And I'm gonna use some of the liquid glue, the Tombow liquid glue. And now when I use, because that's gonna be the easiest way to get something with skinny lines like this, I'm not gonna worry about it sticking everywhere, because honestly, I kind of like it when parts of it are sticking up a little bit. And do not use too much. That's the key. Just put a few little dabs here and there. This stuff sticks great, so you just need enough to make it stay down. So in some of the thicker areas, I'm putting a little bit. It's probably good enough there. I just don't use the liquid glue unless I have to, because I just make a big mess on my hands and everything sticks to me and I do not like it. But for some things, you just need it. All right. Isn't that pretty? That piece is really, really pretty. So I've got that on there, and then here is my sentiment, and I am gonna pop that up with some mini dimensionals. I'll do 3. I can barely pick these little ones up with my fingernails. Okay, the back's off. Oh, the adhesive sheets. Yes, Jessica, you're right. I have used those and it is very nice. I'm just usually too lazy to do it and I forget. Like I just start doing it. I'm like, oh, I should have used the adhesive sheet. But yeah, that's a great, we have adhesive sheets and you just stick your cardstock to the adhesive sheet and then run it through and it makes, and then you just peel off the back and it makes sticking it really easy. All right, I'm gonna kind of make this go down a little like that. And then I want to add some embellishments. I'm gonna cut kind of a long piece of the linen thread. I want to make a double bow just to make it a little thicker because this is thin. So I'm gonna fold it in half, cut it. I like to do that when something's really thin sometimes to make it thicker. And then you just tie it the same way you would tie a single bow, but you're just tying it together. Very easy. So then you have a double. Make that kind of small, make it pretty small. Okay, let me trim that a little bit. So we'll have that. I'm going to stick it at the end of the sentiment here. Like this. Okay, got our twine, then we just need some embellishments, and I chose the brass ones for this one. I thought they kind of are muted and kind of blend in a little bit. Where's my tool? Here it is. So, and when you do, you don't want to stick straight down. It's not going to stick that well doing that. It sticks well if you push it off to the side like that. So put one there and a couple of little ones, like one up here. one right here and there. That one's finished. So here's that one. So there's the two bonus cards and you could create so many more things too with all the stuff you're going to get in this kit. Let me bring the cards that are going to be in the card club kit this month again. Bring those in. These were the bonus ones, so those are not in the kit. That's just a fun extra to show you. But here are the ones that you will make if you do the October Joyful Creations Club. And I will post a link after I get off of here to the email again that went out. In fact, it went out again this morning. Just so it has all the details written out with all the specifics and everything, and the link to subscribe if you want to do that. So yeah, so that's today's Here's the Story. And I appreciate you all watching today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and enjoy this beautiful fall-ish. It's still warm fall for us here, but still much better than it was, fall-ish weather. And I will see you in a couple of weeks on the next episode of Here's the Story. Bye.